St. John was sent into exile to lonely, remote La Penuela on the mountainous ranges of Sierra Nevada. Here he found some peace until another enemy struck, a physical one. He had a raging fever. The friars brought St. John, thought he would be able to get some help in Ubeda. His trip seemed endless as his aching body bobbed up and down on a mule. His tongue stuck to his palate as his temperature rose, ulcers ripping away at his stomach like ground glass, unable to eat anything but a little asparagus.
When he arrived at Ubeda, the prior, remembering how he had once been reprimanded by St. John, put him into the tiniest, coldest, dampest cell he could find. The weeks painfully passed. On December the 14th, St. John grew silent. There was an aura of peaceful light surrounding him, enveloping him and cradling him. He exclaimed, "I shall be tonight in heaven." As he said the words, "Into thy hands, O Lord, I commend my spirit," the friar who had been holding him saw a triple crown encircling his head. As the sweet perfume filled the air, St. John no longer suffered. He had breathed his last. His face was radiant. So went the little Carmelite, friend and helper, on his last journey to his last house.
The contrasting personalities and gifts of St. John and Teresa complemented each other, created a harmonious song of songs like the angels as they praised the Lord during the Mass. And because they were free to accept each other and their gifts, their songs still filled the air. She had the courage, strength, and determination of a conquistador. He had the sensitivity, the gentleness, the intuition, and excitement of a newlywed, drinking the honeymoon experience with his Lord.
St. John of the Cross was a Catholic, a Spanish Catholic, a priest, confessor, a friar, and a poet. No matter what the cost, he lived and died a Catholic son, faithful to his vocation, to his sacrament. He loved Mother Church. He loved everything about his mother, the Church, but especially the sacrifice of the Mass.
The Church not only had no quarrel with her son, she raised him to the communion of saints. In 1675, he was beatified. In 1726, he was canonized. 200 years later, he was declared by this Church he so loved and obeyed, Doctor of the Universal Church. His incorrupt body was taken from its modest grave and was placed in the church he built with his own hands.
St. John of the Cross was passionately in love with his Lord, and there was no turning back. He cautioned, "God leads each soul along different roads, and there shall hardly be found a single spirit who can walk even half the way that is suitable for another." He summed up in one short passage the mystery of God in the soul of man. God dwells secretly in all souls, hidden in their very being, for otherwise they would be unable to exist. But like the measure we shall know him heaven, how different is the manner in which he dwells in each soul. For in some he dwells alone, and in others not alone. In some he dwells contented, in others displeased. In some he dwells as in his house, ordering it and noting everything, while in others he dwells as a stranger in the house of another, where he is not allowed to do anything or to give any commands.
St. John wrote, "The soul was not to follow the desires and designs of the heart. Rather, you must deny your very self, allow yourself to be humbled, and pray, always ready to take up and follow Jesus as he carries his cross, carrying your own. And what will be your reward? You can count on this from the world. You will be unpopular. You will lose your friends, your credit, your reputation, and even your worldly goods. The tongues of people will rise up against you. They will make fun of you and ridicule you. They will try to tempt you to go back to what you had been and where they still are. They will use your heart against you, your logic, your pride, your intellect, your strengths and your weaknesses. and very often all in the name of God, or at least for your own good. But Jesus' promise, I am with you always, will sustain you, because the Lord will deliver you out of it all.